we made it back for week 2 of Ben and Barbs with me, Ben Teely.
And me, Barbs.
We want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watched or listened last week.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And there's a few things I forgot to tell people. So
yeah, quite a lot of few things.
I got a big laundry list. I've got so much stuff written down because I forgot to say it last week. But a tremendous thank you to everybody. We got over 100 views on YouTube. So that's pretty cool. And some lots of comments. But an important piece is you might have a favorite story or not that you want to hear, or you might want us to talk about something special that you like, and you need to know how to get in touch. Well, the easiest thing is to email me at us at Ben Teely, BenTeeley @gmail.com. Real easy. Can't promise we'll answer them all if there's like thousands.
Yeah, we might go viral.
Yeah, because we've got tens of followers. So we do want to be accessible though. So if you do have something to say nice, if it's not too nice, please, this is for fun. I mean, that's the other thing I've got to tell you all as well. It's some people weren't sure what it's about. Well, it's a fun half hour. So if you're on your way to work or something and you want to laugh at something, then hopefully this is it. Just to put a bright spark in your week. Nothing we say is too serious, as you'll gather. And yes, I laugh a lot. That's kind of what I do. I can't help it. I laugh at what I like, and I like my own crap jokes. So.
And at least if people don't think we're funny, at least we're funny looking.
Well, that's right. So it's like at the end of the day, if you just want to look and have a laugh, look and have a laugh. And some of you will just probably want to use the podcasts instead of the YouTube videos. And there's a lot of those available. We're actually out there on all the major podcast sites, starting with Spreaker, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Amazon, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addicts, Podchaser, and JioSaavn, which I think is in India.
Oh, that's probably quicker to tell them what we're not on.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what we're not on. So if you just like
it's a very long list.
That is, there's a longer list. Well, we're not on anybody's system if they're not playing us. But that was really
I think there's another thing that you missed off.
Oh, there is? Hang on. Oh no. What have I missed off now? Oh no. Gmail.
You're forgetting what we're going to talk about?
Oh, right. We're going to talk about a mixture of Ben Teely stories.
There we are.
Yeah. And something we'll try and pick something from the sporting weekend. It's probably going to be English footy because we're a bit Borough and Sunderland centric. But we probably have to put some other things in occasionally because we're going to have a broad audience from, well, I know there are people across America who have listened and in the UK have listened. So we probably can't just stick with the Borough and Sunderland, but we might. Who knows? We might convert some people into Borough and Sunderland supporters.
Yeah. Well, it's been the Euros this weekend, so.
Oh yeah.
Gonna get into a little bit of that later on.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Might not.
Probably. Yeah. But I mean, do you want me to pick up where I left off last week?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because like last week, if anybody was listening and remembers, I did not get in the British Royal Air Force.
No, you did not.
Much to
it's hard to believe.
It's a shock, isn't it? It's to the benefit of the country. And I'm sure that probably a lot of foreign nations wished I'd joined. Put him in, get him in, put him in charge. So it didn't quite work out like that, unfortunately.
So what happened next then?
Well, the book jumps straight into where I worked, but there's a bit before where I worked, which was kind of in England, for those listening who were not in England or probably not at that time, they had a system when you were 16, you took some examinations to determine how bright you were, or in my case, how bright you weren't. And these were called O levels. So you had to do some examination on a subject. Could be history, mathematics, English, geography, physics. Trying to remember ones I did now. English language, English literature. I did 9 of them, and economics. I did economics. But the sad reality was that I failed all 9.
All 9.
All 9. Not a glimmer of hope. That's what happens when you don't pay attention at school for 3 years.
Yeah, that is a prime example.
Or think, what is the famous saying is, be careful, you might not be as clever as you think you are. Yeah, so that kind of rang a bit true. So, and there was a girl I went to school with who I still keep in touch with occasionally now, Jack. She also failed all 9, so we kind of have that in that time. Yeah. If you're watching, Jack, hi. But it left a kind of big hole in what was I going to do, because most jobs that I was looking at required 3 or 4 or 5 O levels to go on, to put you at the top end of getting picked for.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad got me by the ear and dragged me out and crossed to the recruiting office at the local village and said, okay, what can you give him? Like, because my physical attributes meant I wasn't going to be a bricklayer or
or in the RAF
or in the RAF or in the anything that required any kind of physicality wasn't going to happen. So he was kind of like, what? And there was 2 jobs came up that the lady was kind of just, I think might be a guy. Anyway, he said, here, you can go for these 2 jobs. You'll probably get one of these. And one was in a bicycle shop called Orams in Horden, which sold nothing but bicycles. And the other one was in a supermarket called Fine Fair, which later became Asda.
Yeah, I have heard of them.
So I kind of liked the idea of Orams because they had all these bikes. But Fine Fair's job was called a trainee manager. So,
okay.
Or as my friends used to say, a trainee trolley pusher. But it was like, but it had a title and it paid £9.97 a week.
That's not too bad. Well, for back then, not too bad at all. My first job was like £3 an hour.
That's an hour. This was a week. This was like
a week. Week. Yeah, I didn't hear say week.
A week.
Okay, that is terrible.
Yeah, so I think
let's rewind. That is terrible.
That is terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, and I think I gave my mum £4 of that for rent.
Oh. So you were rolling in it by the end of the week.
Oh, well, funny enough, because I didn't do any social activities, I started saving £5 a week. Okay. So I was probably the wealthiest I ever was in my life by the the Christmas of '77. I think I must have had like £60 or something, and I never had any money, so I was suddenly rich by the Christmas of '77. But yeah, some friends were off to work in big careers or down the coal mines, and I was in Fine Fair or Asda. But the good thing was, there was 200 people there working with us, and a lot of the stories in the first book with the long title.
The long title.
Yeah, with the long title. A lot of those stories came, the first stories in the book came from there, because it was low paid, but there was what you would call just everybody liked everybody, and they really did. I mean, it sounds cheesy to say it, but we used to have a night out once a month on a bus to Sunderland nightclubbing, and the bus would be packed. You had to fight to get tickets for the bus to go to Genevieve's nightclub in Sunderland. So everybody was always, and we went to Blackpool for day trips. So imagine the whole work. So it was pretty good. But the first thing, it's one of the first stories in the book, and one of the first things I remember about that place was being 16-year-old. And for the time, some pranksters or kids used to think it was funny to call in bomb scares to school and the bigger shops. So,
There's a documentary on this.
oh, right, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird because there were bombs happening in England by the
Yeah.
IRA at the time. So everybody was on edge, but not where we were in Peterlee, because it's not exactly the epicenter of anything that anybody's even
Of
heard
all places to bomb.
Exactly, yeah. So the
It's really
problem was,
worth it.
no, it's like there's some people out there watching this will be saying, well, if you bombed it, it will be an improvement. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But
I didn't say that.
no, I know. I apologize to anybody out there, Peterlee, now, but I'm sure,
I mean, you're from there, so you're okay.
yeah, well, you know some of the buildings that need to come down. But we we had the people had to take them serious, because you imagine if you could, you know, if you ignored it and it was true. So this bomb scare came in, so they shut the stop, escorted the customers out, and then they had a meeting at the front, and the managers pointed to us like there was a group of about 5, maybe 6 of us, all 16, 17-year-old new starters.
Yeah.
And they told us to go looking for the bomb. So
it's always how it goes.
Oh, it's like you might have, like, so I'm walking with my friend Jim. He's Jimmy in the book. I'll have to ask him before I use his real name on here, but we'll call him Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. So
will Jimmy know who he is?
Oh, Jimmy will know who he is. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. We're walking along, and you're like, "What's a bomb look like?" Well, I don't know. I mean, well, I couldn't get in the Air Force, so I hadn't had any bomb training. So,
I mean, you also shouldn't really approach a bomb anyway.
well, yeah, exactly what we were going to do if we see something. Was it going to be like a box of cornflakes with some dynamite stick out saying bomb
with a timer on it?
Yeah, like on the cartoons. It's like, yeah. What? It's like, and what are we going to do if we see it anyway? Run around screaming bomb! Like,
and then you find out that it's not.
Well, so as we're walking along, I mean, there was one lad we all kind of thought was a bit expendable, Donkey. So if we'd let him find it, would have been all right. But we're all walking around like as if we're in that, you know, one of them Bruce Willis movies, like,
yeah,
you're all like looking all macho and chuckling in the face of bombs and stuff. So there's, but yeah, none of us had a clue what it looked like. And if, you know, it could have been a can of beans going to blow up in the warehouse, and
exactly.
And then we'd just have to clean the mess up and everything. So
I mean, they should have been more worried if you knew how to identify the bomb.
Well,
was it you?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But as we're walking through, we're all like walking towards the warehouse, and we get through the doors, and then it occurred to us that not only did we not know what a bomb looked like or know what to do if we saw one, but was like, I mean, Jimmy was like, well, we just run fast. It's like, well, I can't run. So it's like, well, that means that the managers think that even though we only cost 10 quid a week, we're expendable.
Yeah. Like your lives really don't matter.
That's right. Who's going to miss 10 quid a week? Like,
we can replace them by tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, what? So none of us really looked very hard. And then I decided to sit on top of a fridge and hide. And then I said, quick, I shouted at everybody, quick over here. And they're like, have you found it? Have you found it? I said, no, but I found the secret supply of broken chocolate. Because what they did was on the sales floor, everything that got broken had to be like, it was eventually to be destroyed, but it had to be claimed off the supplier. So before they claimed it, they had to kind of roughly estimate how much there was, but they hid it on top of this fridge. So looking for a bomb, I found that. So we may have shared some chocolate together, and we may
that's a winning story.
Yeah, so we may or may not have. So there we were, like the four of us, like Andy Dufresne of Shawshank Redemption, sitting on the top of the fridge.
With chocolate from cheek to cheek.
Yeah. Ooh, Bombs.
Wasn't us. What do you mean?
Well, and the funny thing is, they did have security staff there who would have just walked you out the building in a snap.
Oh, wow.
If you picked a grape up, yeah, you'd have been gone. So it was like really strict. So yeah, all this like, oh, we're moving on a bomb. But yeah, my finishing line in the story is, I'm sure that somewhere in the store handbook there is a guide on how to look for bombs in future. So for further trainees to have. I mean, that's like, it just beggars belief as to like what they were thinking and how they even pretended they were going to get away with that. You lot go, but we did it.
Let's not evacuate. Let's go find the bomb.
We did it. Can you imagine now at work
God.
if the manager came in and said, "There's been a bomb scare. You go and have a look for the bomb."
I'll look for you. See you in an hour.
That's right. Yeah.
Or not. You might not see me at all. Might never come back.
So anybody who's watching, listening, if you have bomb stories from your place of work, please send them in to us. We'd love to hear them, and we may read them out. Who knows? Yeah.
Or if you remember your time from Fairfax.
Fine Fair.
Fine Fair. Oh, that's the one. What's Fairfax?
I don't know.
I just made that up.
Yeah, but Fine Fair was the
Fine Fair. That's the one.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people out there who remember Fine Fair, pre-Asda. And
I have heard of it. I just for some reason called it Fairfax.
Hello, everybody who worked at Fine Fair. So good grounding. There was another early days story that it's not in the book either. Was with it, for some reason they had a crisp eating competition, chips for American people, but so they had these big tubs of crisps to see who could eat the most, and one of my ex-school teachers turned up to enter it. And I'm like,
do they still do them now?
Oh, but I was thinking,
I'd like to enter.
I'm blaming me for failing all my exams, and my teachers are busy eating crisp competitions.
Was there a prize?
Probably 3 bags of crisps.
Oh, yeah, a year's supply of free chips.
Supply. Yeah. Canny bag of chips.
That's a competition I could get on board with.
There you go. Yeah, free crisps or chips for Americans. Yeah, free. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
It is. So, and talking of competitions, going onto the sporting weekend. I don't know if you realize how massive this weekend was, and it's kind of, there was the Great North Run in Northeast England with 60,000 runners.
That's right.
And there was the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
There was cricket. England beat New Zealand. Djokovic in tennis won his 24th Grand Slam.
Yep, I saw that.
Some bloke called McIlroy didn't win the Irish Golf Open.
Also saw that.
Yeah. American football kicked off. The Houston Texans lost at Baltimore, and the Lions beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs were the last season Super Bowl winners, so pretty big weekend.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah, but the big news, probably the biggest of all, was that Maguire started for England.
Don't. I don't understand.
Yeah. It's
I just don't get it.
It is. It's kind of.
What about Luke Shaw? Get him on.
Well. To be honest, when you're playing the way we play, you could have took Maguire off and put a midfielder forward.
Midfield, exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't exactly, and I know, I'm not knocking Ukraine. They scored a goal against England, so they could attack, blah blah blah. But their attacks were very few and far between.
Yeah, they weren't threatening.
No. And it wasn't, to me, it was a game where you could have put, Foden should have started instead of Maguire.
I agree completely.
Or Henderson and
yeah.
So I kind of bit shocked that he got it, but England didn't win, and a lot of calls for people against Southgate because of that.
I was going to ask you actually, who would you appoint as manager if you could right now?
Oh, crikey, for England?
Yeah, for England.
Take that fella away from Newcastle.
Yeah. No, he's actually, I think he's third
Oh,
favourite
well,
to be
that's
in.
deliberately just to upset the Newcastle supporters.
Yeah. I
'Cause they're
actually
doing
think
well.
he's third favourite or
All
somewhere
right.
on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never gave it much thought actually because I can't. Southgate's going nowhere, so it's
No, he's not. He
no.
hasn't been for a while now. He's not
No,
utilising the players that we've got.
no.
And at the moment, we've got a really good squad.
Right.
Just get rid of Maguire and Phillips and don't start Hendo.
Yeah. Don't start Hendo. Yeah. Like, well, maybe it was Hendo. Now he's got all that money. Maybe he buys all the coffees. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. You
Yeah,
scratch my back, I scratch
that's right.
yours.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I just I watched that game, and it wasn't a good watch. Wasn't a good.
No, we shouldn't have drew against them.
But they're playing Scotland tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
we are.
Scotland did brilliant. They're now top of their group, 55 wins from 5. So
I was going to say they've won every game, yeah.
McTominay, another guy, can't get a game for Man United as Europeans' top scorers.
Yeah.
So something wrong with Man United, but he's doing great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the Northern Ireland's back four. They were all ex or current Sunderland Borough players.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yeah. There was I did write this down. See my preparations again. Where did I write that down? There we go. McNair, Paddy McNair.
Ah, yes.
Ballard's at Sunderland now. Humes
Yeah.
at Sunderland now, and Johnny Evans used to play for Sunderland once upon a time. Yeah.
Oh, well, isn't that good?
Yeah. And I think I owe Johnny Evans an apology.
Why is that?
Because last week I gave him a hard time, and nobody picked me up on this. I'm just quickly checking it now. And I said that he won the Premier League with Leicester, but he didn't. He was with Man United when he won the Premier League.
Ooh, that's a big difference.
And then he went to Leicester after they had won the Premier League. I think it was after. So, but none of the statos out there picked me up on that. So, sorry, Johnny, if I got it all wrong. But
yeah, maybe Johnny's watching and he'll correct us.
If you yeah. But I still think he shouldn't be getting a start from playing for Man United, and that's a step too much for him, I think. But hey, what do I know for Man United, right? They're just
well, I mean, Man United are the ones that paid so much for Maguire, so
that's right. Absolutely,
they did really well with
that. Well, he came with a pedigree, didn't he, from being a good stopper guy? But the game's changed since they bought him a lot.
Yeah,
thanks to Pep Guardiola and a few other coaches around. It's a lot different from let's boot it up to the big guy. So who do you think will win tomorrow, then, England or Scotland? I think it's
going to be, I think it is tomorrow. I think it's going to be a tough one for us.
Anybody watching this, it's yesterday. Because we're recording this obviously before the England.
That is a good point. Never thought of that. Yeah. I think it'll either be a draw or we'll win.
I'm thinking Scotland are going to sneak a win because they're going to be right up for this, and they're on fire.
Yeah,
and they're on such a.
I just find it really tough to go against England.
Yeah.
I like to believe that we could beat them. I think we really could.
And you have to hope that Southgate picks a strong team.
Yeah.
Doesn't treat it like...
We've got the ability to have that strong team. He's just not putting them out there.
No, it's weird that, because I mean, I've seen articles this weekend of England's got the best midfield in Europe theoretically. So
yeah, we do technically. Yeah.
Not playing though, you know.
Yeah. Well, we've got Bellingham. Play him more.
Yeah. Bellingham, Gordon, and anybody else who plays for Man City or Real Madrid, really.
Just anyone other than them three.
Other than those three. That would
we'll take them.
that will do it. So unfortunately a load of sport this weekend, and it was
Yeah.
a massive sporting weekend. Like I say, a good look in the US for all those who follow the American football. We'll probably
Yeah.
have to pick favorite American football teams to go on with that season now. I mean, I've got the Houston Texans, I guess, so, but they're rubbish.
Exactly, yeah.
You never win. It's just like watching Sunderland.
If everybody comments below what they thought of the England v Scotland game, and
Oh yeah,
we'll get some comments.
Were we right now? Predictions. There you go.
Yeah, and we'll make some comments in the next.
Yeah, that's true.
In the next video.
And don't forget to email us if you have anything else to add. At benteely@gmail.com, and Teely's TEELEY.
Yeah.
Free. Like I say, we'll try and answer, but if we get thousands of emails, then it'll be different.
Yeah, if we just overrun.
Thank you to everybody who subscribed last week. And don't forget, anybody who hasn't subscribed, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we're landing every Wednesday.
That's right. We're going to land every Wednesday. And that's it for another short, sharp, shock edition of Ben and Barbs.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Ciao for now.
See you all later on.